You're good.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Jerome Chisolm, and this is my wife, Inocencia Chisolm. Uh, we're with Signature Cruise and Travel, powered by Travelution, and it's great to have you with us as we continue some awesome training that we are excited to really share with you. This is going to be Cruising 202. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
102.
Oh, no, 102. Yeah, thank you, babe. So now I know why you're here. Let's see if it's sharing. Okay, there we go. Cruising 102. Last week we went over Cruising 101. There's so much really to discuss regarding cruises and what steps we took to be successful as we are today. These are just one portion of what it really takes or what's involved in working with cruises and your clients. And so we're hoping that what we're trying to do is really go after those topics that will help you to really somersault into your business and really grow it rapidly, as we had the opportunity to do. We kind of tripped into it with our first sale being, such a large amount of cabins for our very first group cruise. But from then, we exponentially grew, and with some bumps and scrapes and bruises that we're hoping to help you avoid, because there's so much to understand, know, and to do well. So let's jump right into it. This is Cruising 102. Now I'm going to just start off with, I picked this picture on purpose. This is in Bahamas. You can see the Atlantis resort, that big pink building off to the left. And I wanted to just demonstrate to you how there are so many huge and different size ships. Some people like a large ship where there's plenty of activity, and some people like the more intimate one, which is the one that's all the way to the right. And all of them are great. All of them, what you'll learn to do is match the right client with the right product. And so this is a great example. When I saw this picture, I said, this is great to really share with my Travelution family, to just demonstrate to you how very different cruises can be. There are many major cruise brands. There's plenty of them, from Carnival to Disney, Princess, Royal, Seabourn, Cunard. We showed this slide in our last presentation, but we wanted to just share this because we wanted to make sure to get honed in on some points. So we just wanted to share with you, there is plenty of inventory of plenty of different brands, and the different brands represent a different feel, a different different clienteles would like. A Cunard is more of the sophisticated, mature crowd. The Carnival or the Disney might be for the younger crowd. The Norwegian is somewhere in between. So we just wanted to give you a sense that, hey, for everybody, every client that you have out there, there's going to be a brand that they're going to really like. The key thing, as we discussed in our last training, is getting to know. You can't get to know all of them. It's just too many of them. But certainly the major brands, so that you have an idea of what they're kind of like, as I was describing, so that you can get a feel for it and know when you're talking to a client what's going to best meet their needs. There's also, as we discussed earlier, river cruises versus ocean cruises. And so the river cruises are the smaller vessels that travel on rivers. And they have, as we discussed before, a more longer stops as far as ports of call, whereas the ocean cruises it might take a whole day to get to the next country that they're going to, because you're crossing an ocean or seas in some cases, especially in the Caribbean. And so we just wanted to further emphasize that there's plenty of market out there for your clients to really get to it and enjoy.
And when we speak of the variety that exists, as Jerome indicated, one of the most important thing is to really get to know your client, right? knowing your client and knowing the product that you are offering is the best way that you could make what I always call a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Because every personality is different, just like every ship is different. You mentioned the carnival. You have a lot of younger people that love carnival, so they want to be in that type of party atmosphere. But now you have to realize that carnival don't only have ships that is all about the party, but carnival now is coming up with ships that have a more mature feeling, you know, the cabins are different. And so they're trying to get a different, even Carnival themselves is trying to get a different type of cruisers. Mm-hmm. They're trying to look to have more ships that they're bringing out that will appeal, right, to a different type of clients. So it is critical and is important. As he said, you don't have to know about all of them, but you need to familiarize yourself with the cruises, with the cruise ships or the crew company. So when a client comes to you, you can speak to them from some kind of knowledge and not hemming and hamming or flying, saying something off of the cuff. So these type of trainings is great for you, but it's also great for us because it keeps us sharp and it keeps us current. Yeah. So being current is going to be one of your one of the nuggets that we will tell you. You know, it's a golden nugget. Keep current with your products. That way, when things changes, because with the cruise lines, things are changing. Yeah. After COVID, first we was gonna be cruising in April. Now they're changing from April to July, and then all of these type of stipulations that governors are placing on the cruise ship. So you need to know and just be current with that kind of information. But knowing your product, knowing your client, and matching them up together becomes a match made in heaven.
Exactly. And the reason we're emphasizing this is because this is what has helped us to become very successful very quickly. You may not know every single brand. I just showed you a slide where there was at least 20 of them, but you should at least know how to find out about them or have an ideal about them, and then know behind me on my desk, I ordered just about every one of their brochures, printed brochures. I know you can go online and look, but there's nothing like flipping through these brochures from the river cruises to Carnival. I have a whole shelf in my office that's dedicated to just cruises, different cruise ships that are available to a client. So I can, and what I will do from time to time is just kind of flip through them just to kind of get acquainted with it. Again, I won't memorize all of it, but I'll remember, hey, I remember seeing that and my client mentioned it. Let me go back to where I think it might be. And so that's what I'm talking about. That's been very helpful to really exponentially grow in this business, as opposed to kind of doing it very slow. And there's nothing wrong with slow, but we all want to get there so that where we can become independent financially and really help clients to really enjoy their trip.
These are some of, I don't know if you can see them, but some of you know and have seen it, where you order these and what it does.
They're free.
They're free. Yeah. They will send you how many you need, and you will have like things like this in there, like a description of each one of the decks, where the cabins are located. These are stuff that is critical for you to be able to have. So have it at your hands, in your hand. Take the time, go to the back offices of the different cruise line where they have the marketing type products. All of those are free. The only thing you need to do is just take the time to go in there and tell them, hey, send me 5 books or 3 brochures or whatever the case may be, and just have them, because it's great when you're speaking to your customer or your client and they talking about a particular deck or a particular location and the on the cruise ship, and you are able to pull it out. I like this one. This one is from Celebrity Cruises, and when you look at it, it really gives you a description of their ports. So you can't see it, but when you order your own, you will see it. You will see it. So you have a description of the ports, where they stops, and how many days it's gonna be there, and all of this. And this is great information that you will have at the tip of your fingertip. So you don't have to know it all. We don't know it all, but we have enlisted, right? And because there's resources, that's it. Use your resources. There are resources that the cruise line is given and has provided for you. And they're not there to look cute and for you to just put it on your desk and let it collect dust. They're there for you to be able to familiarize yourself with what the cruise line have to offer. So when a client calls you, you don't know it all, but you will say, you know what, I remember reading about Celebrity Cruises, da 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 da. Turn around, let me get this book, let me go through this brochure so that I'm equipped to be able to give the client proper information.
Yes, it's great because we've actually ordered maybe about 5 extras of maybe the Royal, Norwegian, and Carnival annual books that shows all of the itineraries and then pictures of all their ships and all the deck plans. And sometimes when we're working with VIPs or group leaders, we'll actually put our label on the back of the book and give it to them. And so that while we're talking to them over the phone, hey, go to page this or page that. The internet is great, but there's nothing like having tactical feel and book. And it gives you more of a professional look and feel too when they see that you're equipped with this type of information and material. So let's just talk about cruising, the business opportunity. There are large ships, and the idea is like the Symphony of the Seas. It carries up to 6,680 passengers, 6,680 passengers, and then there's about 2,200 crew members that service all these people. So it's like a 3-to-1 ratio, a little bit less. The newest ship by Carnival, it carries up to 6,000 passengers. And that has about 2,000 people, employees working on those ships. These ships, big or small, range from 3 to 5 day to 7 day to 14-day itineraries that are available. So there is the short, quick weekends to the longer ones, and there's even longer, month-long cruises. There are people that take back-to-back cruises. They'll take 2 7-day cruises because that same ship will maybe do the Eastern Caribbean, and then when it comes back, it's doing the Western Caribbean, and they just stay in the same cabin, come in back to Florida. Everybody else gets off, new people come on, but they stay on, and then they move on. So there's such a variety as it relates to itineraries as well. Carnival Line boasts that half of their home ports are just a day's drive from. No, let me put it this way. Carnival Cruise Lines boast that half a day's drive is about is close to about half of the U.S. population as far as where their home ports are located. So you're talking about half of the U.S. having access to the cruise line and cruise ports within a half a day's drive. The cost of cruises can be as low as $250 per person, and sometimes lower. Oftentimes lower, especially when you're getting those last minute offers that the cruise lines offer. And we're saying all this to say how big this industry is, how vast it is, what variety there is available for this business opportunity that we have in front of us. So we have all this inventory. Sometimes I've walked on ships when I was cruising, and you see the ship filled with people, and I always think to myself, what if I just had 1% of the people that are on this ship? sailing with me today. It can be done.
Yeah.
The inventory is there. These are floating cities in some cases. And so we're wanting to make sure that you understand that the inventory is there as far as number of cabins that are available. The inventory is there as it relates to the type of itineraries, as far as length of itineraries that you have. The opportunity is there because half the country can get to this particular product, and then it's affordable. It can start as low as $250. This is some amazing things to know. I get excited as I'm telling you about it, because through Travelution, we've had the opportunity to have access to all of this.
Right.
So it's like reaching in the bowl of candy and grab as much as you want. It's up to you.
Right.
And so one of the things that we wanted to just bring to your attention is just the magnitude of this business, what it can really do for you, your family, and down the line when done well and done right. And that's the point of this particular training session, as we talk about, as far as groups go, and how to obtain them and why. And so we just wanted to do a reminder of one slide that we spoke of before. People are using travel agents when asked about the skills and services that customers appreciate the most from travel agents. Product knowledge took the top spot at 65%. Now, I keep harping on this because that puts us in a very good position to take advantage of everything we just discussed. 65%, if we can get the product knowledge down as we're doing here, and we've been doing in the last few weeks, you are primed to take advantage of that inventory, of those advantages, of that availability for people to get to this product. And then there's people that really love this product, and it's going to be such a surge when it's all done. So just keep that in mind. You have the product, you're getting the knowledge, you're here now, and I congratulate you as you work to get that knowledge. And it takes time to do it, but you're doing more than many, I would say at least half the agents that are working this industry. You're working from agents to really advisors, and this is what it takes to do just that. And so congratulations on that. But let's talk about why clients cruise. We talked about this before. It's the convenient one stop when as far as a vacation goes. Once they're on that ship, they know where they're sleeping, where they're eating, where the entertainment will be, and everything that has to do where they're going to be making stops. It's all in one place. It's all inclusive. Everybody loves to have great meals when they're on vacation. That's the one time you let go of your diet plan and just have a really good time. It's a safe and controlled venue, an environment. Compared to flying into certain cities and kind of, you're dealing with the public that has nothing to do with vacation. And sometimes that can be a problem or not. It depends on where you are. And then you go to a new location every day. That's pretty exciting. You wake up every morning and you're at a new port, a new country, or a new part of a country. It gives you great social opportunities amongst people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. So there's that vibe, that's energy, that's all around you. You're not dealing with, like, if you had a vacation in New York City, half the people are going to work, half the people are, some people are on vacation, other people are just out there doing whatever. But when you're on a cruise, everybody's pretty much in the same mindset. So there's a certain atmosphere that comes along with cruising that hotels can't do. Resorts can do to a degree as well, because oftentimes they are like cruises on land in many cases, depending on the resort and the services that they may provide. And there's always something for everyone, especially depending on the cruise that you go on. Again, when you're matching the client with the right product, there's going to be something for everyone. And then we already talked about it. It's a great price, especially when you're working with a travel advisor. A travel advisor is in a position to find the best offers that are available. We're constantly getting offers in advance of the public, and we're able to offer those before they see it, the public sees it, and you become a winner. And so It definitely pays to sell cruise bookings. Please don't miss the boat. We wanted to reiterate that. I love that slide and just wanted to reiterate it again.
Don't miss the boat.
Don't miss the boat.
Hey, and anybody that knows me and they know that I tell people a lot of time, you don't want me to don't leave the cheese on the plate. Don't leave the cheese, because if you leave the cheese, I'm gonna come get it. And what I mean by that, when we say, don't miss the boat, cruises is a great way of really building and growing your business. Group cruises, and this is just for something for you to keep in mind, what can come out of group cruising, right? You sometimes people want a big cruise at one time, right? They want a big group at one time. We were blessed that is what happened to us. And we didn't know what we were doing because we had just started the business. We had no clue what we were doing. And but the knowledge that we have been able to develop over this past almost 6 years is what we are attempting to share with you guys. And I'm glad that this is being recorded, because at any given point, you could go back and you could listen. We are normal people just like you. There's nothing, we are not smarter than you. We are not better than you. We just know that we have a passion. And to be perfectly honest, I love cruising a lot. Leave it up to me, I will be on a cruise every week. If I'll be on a cruise, but then I won't be servicing our clients. But, there is a lot that you could get from cruising, right? And I'm not sure, I don't want to jump ahead, but when we look at cruises, you could get a group, right? And it's depending on the cruise ship. For some cruise line, a group will be a minimum of 8 cabins. So it could go anywhere between 8 cabins to 10 cabins, depending on the cruise line. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Carnival is 8. And then you have the Royal Caribbean that requires 10 cabins. So just picture this. You have a group, 8 cabins, right? Could be the equivalent of anywhere between 16, right? To more people, depending if they're doing the double occupancy, the single occupancy, or triple or quad. But just think of, you have 8 people, right? Let's say everybody have their own. But this is the beginning of what you are doing in terms of developing a group. There's different layers, different steps, a whole lot of other stuff that's going to happen once you get that group going, right? But there's an excitement of when you have a group, because you will start with a group and it may seem small, but you take that small group and you do everything that you have to do, and you service that group with excellence. You service that small group and let them feel that they are VIPs. And I bet your bottom dollar, because it happened to us, that small group that you booked this year, right? Next year, a few months later, that they want to cruise again, they're not only cruising by themselves, but because of the experience that they had, based on how you service them. You didn't look at them as a small group. You just knew that there was a group, and you serviced that group with the utmost of excellence. You made them feel as if there was a large group, right? And when people feel that you genuinely care about them, you genuinely care about their experience, and you not only focus on the dollars, because you know me, I tell you, if you're in the business for the dollar, then you're in the wrong business, because this is a people business. Once you know how to handle people and treat them properly, then the money will come, right? So if you treat that small group with the utmost of integrity, with the utmost of making everything to be for them to have an excellent experience, then what's going to happen? That small group will have a tendency to grow because we have small groups that we went from 12 people, and from 12 it went to 40 something, and from 40 something it went to 100 and something, because they kept doing the same cruise every year and it kept growing. Okay, so you could start out with a small group and you may end up with a large group. A large group encompass from 50 to 3 plus cabins, 300 cabins, and lots of dollars to earn there. But also you have to make sure that even a large group, right, that you are servicing them, large or small. What's got to be key is servicing them as a VIP, and your service has to be a service with excellence in order for you to be able to keep them.
Absolutely, and she said all my points, so I'll just say ditto. But no, but really, it's the groups that start as small as 8 cabins, and they can go up to as far as larger groups, 300 or more cabins. Now, remember what we said before: these ships they hold 6,000 people. So let's say you did have 300 cabins, and 2 people are in. That's 600 people. That's just a tenth of that. Of the people that will be on that ship. So what we're trying to say is the capacity is there. So depending on the group that you tap into, whether it's in the picture to the left, some grandma and grandma getting together, long lost friends getting together, or a class reunion. Ships are getting innovative about who they cater to. And so it's definitely very doable. It's very possible. It's just a matter of finding the influencer.
Yeah, that's it.
There's money in groups. Finding the influencer is what we really wanted to kind of speak to you tonight about. The influencer is a very key person to your business. They are all around you. Somewhere in this picture that we're showing was that one person that spoke to that agent and was able to facilitate getting all those people on the boat. It starts with that one person. It's usually somebody that people trust, or whether they trust them personally, trust their work or work ethic. It's always something of that. They're usually a people-oriented person, but they are out there and they're all around us, and they're not hard to really find. No. We'll give you some examples of what we mean. The influencers could be the person that you know organizes the family reunion. It's the auntie, it's the cousin, it could be your mother, it could be anybody in that family that's usually the one organizing the family reunion. And
it could be you, right? And I say it could be you because so many of us have families that are scattered all over the place, right? So why can't you be the one? If you know that you're an influencer, right, when it comes on to your family, you could organize a family reunion, right? You don't have to do it too big. You could just say, hey, it's 15, 20 of us, let's get together. And you will be surprised sometimes what happened. You want to do it just with you, and then you start talking about it, they start talking about it, and next thing you have other people that want to come too. So you are also, don't look at everybody else as an influencer. Look at yourself also as an influencer within the body embodiment of your families and your friends, because you could create a families and friend cruise.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, exactly. And when you look at the picture that's on the screen now, I mean, most people would think the influencer is the young lady in the chair wearing white, but it could have been the first lady on the left that spoke to everybody else about it. And to celebrate perhaps that young lady's bridal shower.
Yeah.
So it could be anybody that's organizing that, such as, for instance, the second example is association presidents or secretary. We just want to give you ideas, not just out of the blue. We're trying to give you ideas. We're actually giving you ideas of who we actually discovered and worked with us. So these are real live examples that we've actually experienced for groups, big or small. So there was association presidents on the social associations that are out there. And so it was the president or the secretary that spoke about, hey, the group wants to do this. We were able to speak to them. It could be an HOA, it can be the Boy Scout or Girl Scout leader that wants to do a trip.
Fundraising.
Or a fundraising. We haven't even gotten into that aspect. That's a whole different component to groups, because a lot of groups like to do fundraising.
Yeah.
And with cruises, the cruises actually have fundraiser components built into their sales and pricing, where in short, out of everybody that is in that group, as far as purchasing a cabin within that group, the cruise line will actually send a check to that organization as a way of a fundraiser. So if they're trying to buy new buildings for where they meet, for instance, that's what this cruise lines are able to do. So that's just one of several things that cruise lines have available, and that's why we're talking about how to getting to know the product, getting to know what's available out there, and fundraisers is one of those for cruise lines, and that's usually a very good way of getting into the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts or even the family reunion. Sometimes what we've done, just to give you ideas, is for a family reunion. Sometimes I know we have a family reunion where they like to give a scholarship to one of the students or a couple of the students that are in the family. Well, they didn't have to raise money separately. They was able to take their vacation dollars, buy cruise cabins. Everybody got their own cruise cabins, and the cruise line sent them back a check, and they used that towards scholarships towards the members of their own family that was deserving of a scholarship. So that's another way to use the fundraiser idea when it comes to cruises. There's also the heads of social clubs, and there's a whole bunch of social clubs that we can talk about. I know one of Dave's favorites is like the biker group. We've talked about the sewing group, people that get together for sewing, fraternities and sororities. They're big on traveling together.
Yes.
You get the right person if you're connected to the right person, and you don't have to necessarily be connected. You could be connected 3 times away from the right person. It's just a matter of having those conversations. Who's the one that usually organizes your groups? Can I speak to them because I have an offer for them? Use that fundraiser component to say, hey, how would you like to make some money while you're having fun? And you'll be surprised how that conversation opens up into these large groups. The groups is already there in the fundraiser, in the sorority or the fraternity. They don't have to look for the people. They're already there. They love getting together. What you're doing is matching their desire to travel together, to socialize together, and then on top of that, you're giving them gravy with, hey, what could you use the extra dollars for if it was a fundraiser? There's usually some worthy cause that they're after or project that they're after. You see where I'm going with this? So this is well beyond just, I want a cabin, here's your money, and you're done. There's a whole culture of what you can do to really bless people, to help them in what they're trying to obtain or do as individuals or as a group.
As you grow your business.
We've encountered business leaders and owners. That's a salon I go to, the barber that we go to. We've talked to them about, hey, why don't you do, this is another component with cruising, promotional, so that, hey, whoever does the best, whoever is sale of the month, you get a free cruise. We've done that, cruise certificates. Yes, thank you. I was trying to think of the term. There's so many components to cruises and what you're able to do and what they have available that you can use as tools to get those groups. And so it can be those business owners that are trying to get their employees to do a better job, to incentivize them. So there's a law firm office managers that are looking to do a training group. Cruises are getting real good. They have conference spaces now where you can have basically seminars on the seas, planning sessions, things of that nature. The clothing shop owner that wants to do a raffle for their
grand opening,
or even clientele that comes in. Put your business card in, and you win a free weekend cruise. And so these are things that you can introduce to people, and that's what we've done. The dentist office is just basically almost nobody that we've encountered that's in business that doesn't know that we're in travel and have a unique way of meeting their personal needs as far as when they want to travel, but how to grow their business, to improve their business, to get more clients in. These are the ideas that we're just floating to you, and there's so many more that we won't be able to get into tonight because we try to do this within an hour, but there's so much.
Well, I just wanted to interject here and say this. You have a business. If you keep your mouth shut, nobody knows that you have a business. You have to open your mouth. There is no shame in the game. And as I said before, if you don't open your mouth and let people know that you have a business, and cruising is part of it, because most people that I meet and I talk to, because I could talk, I love talking about my business and what I do. There's that interest. You could pique their interest in terms of taking that vacation and going away and relaxing. Because most people, if you ask them, when was the last time that you took time to yourself? When did you take time to revitalize yourself, to enjoy? When was the last time you took a vacation? Most people will hem and ham. Some people will tell you, I can't remember the last time I did it. So as travel advisors, it's sort of like I feel that I have a responsibility to let people know what I do and how best my services can help them, right? Eliminate I don't know when was the last time I took a vacation, to, you know what? I need to plan a vacation. And what better person to plan it but yourself? We fail sometimes a lot in our businesses because we give business to other people, right? You go to the dentist, you don't talk about your business. You go to the doctor for your annual checkup, you don't talk about your business. You go to the hair salon, you chat. Oh, girl, yes, and that color look nice. And oh my God, I want to do that. And I need that haircut. But you never open your mouth to tell your hairdresser or barber about your business. If you are investing in the development and the growth of their business, you also need to open your mouth and let them know that you have a business, and the same way you are supporting their business, it will be great if they support your business also. Now, mind you, it might be someone that just don't like cruising. That is okay, because you are looking for the influencer. If that person don't like cruising, he or she may not like cruising, but how many other people they may know as an influencer that may like cruising? He may like cruising, but he may like all inclusive, but you will never know that because you did not open your mouth and let them know that you have a business. So anybody that operates or run their business, trust me when I say to you, they are an influencer. They have influence on others because they would have not made it where they are, owning their own on their own to accord, right? Influencers always surround themselves, right, with like-minded people. So imagine if you could get one of those influencers that that knows other influencers, well, I'm going to stop right there because I'm just letting you know what could happen with your business. And we are speaking not because we just want to talk about it. We are sharing it because we have experienced it.
Yes.
We are experienced working with one person, giving them the VIP service. And because they were so comfortable and they experience, right? They trust, the confidence, that we were knowledgeable. They have sent other influencers to us. And so this business, right? The business is going to be what you want it to be. We could speak to you and we could share everything with you to the smithereens. But if you don't have the right mindset to grasp what we are saying, where you can apply, you don't have to apply everything because, again, it takes time. But if you could walk away with stuff, right? Open your mouth. Let people know what you do. And that's how you will begin to communicate and to contact and to build relationship with the influencers that can open up a plethora of business for you. So that's all we want to share. I just wanted to put those 2 pennies in because, I know people have a tendency of feeling kind of funny when they go to a doctor to say, hey, and by the way, here's my card. Why not? When you go to them, their secretary or somebody's handing you their business card and you continue to make appointments to go to see them. So why don't you do the same thing? Everywhere I go, people know what I do because I make it my business. I wear my shirt with my logo, or I would just walk up to them and, hi, my name is Inocencia. How are you doing? When was the last time you took a vacation? I asked the question.
And it's an easy question.
It's an easy question. You're not being intrusive.
Love to talk about travel.
People want to talk.
Yeah, and it's oftentimes it's just talking to them about travel. It'll be long before they realize that we're actually in the business of assisting them with travel.
Right.
But influencers can also include churches and nonprofits. The pastor, the ministers, the auxiliary or ministry leaders, they're all doing the same thing as far as trying to fundraise. Oftentimes, so the availability is there. That you can meet at social event planners, meeting and social event planners. For friends and family, there's things like weddings and birthdays and milestone anniversaries that people are planning, graduation celebrations. If they don't have the wedding on the ship, sometimes they have their, now that's been the trend is have the wedding at the church and then everybody goes on the cruise for the reception. Believe it or not, that's just, we just saw that, and so in the invitation was the reception is the cruise ship, and this is how you book. So old friends love to travel together every year. Who's organizing that? Who's the person that everybody likes to be around that says, yeah, if you're going, and we have clients that actually is like that.
Yesterday.
If he's going, I want to go. And so when we're talking about that VIP service, when you're handling people well, it shows, it comes through. For example, this weekend, we have a client that's in Jamaica. It's a well-known pastor. And this is the first time I'm actually serving him with his vacation. He got my name from another influencer, and he said, and from that, the great thing about from influencer to influencer is like half of the work of just earning their trust is already done because of what's already been said about you before that call was made. So it's almost anything that you advise. When I got that call, it was like, we just know we want to go on vacation. You tell us. Now, remember, this is somebody that's usually heading hundreds of people. And now suddenly they're relying just on you. So that's a great honor and privilege to do that. But while they were in Jamaica, what was it? the resort credits was not applied to their room. So that when there was supposed to be $500 resort credits applied to the room for that particular booking. When they got to the front desk said there's nothing here on your booking for that. And so what they did is they called me from Jamaica to say, hey, this is what they're saying. And I said, well, I did just send that information. This is the phone number I gave you if there was any questions about that before you left, if you had any questions. And he says, well, okay, I'll call that number. I said, no, you're on vacation. You're always taking care of everybody else. I'm taking care of you while you're on vacation. And so you just go ahead and take it easy. I'll call you back and text you when it's done. 5 minutes later, I made the calls that I needed to make. It was a mistake. I got it resolved. I called them back and it was done. And so just imagine having experienced that attitude from somebody that's watching out for you. What's the first thing before they left Jamaica? They called me about something else, so asking me about some information about something else. This is the first time I served this client. Before he left Jamaica, he was telling me, you know what, we were always planning on going to Turks and Caicos, so we need to talk to you about that as soon as we get back. He's already talking to me about his next trip before he got back. That's the response you get when you treat people with excellence. That's what's been happening to us over and over and over again. That's why we're so anxious to share this with you so that you can win at this business as well. And we learned to do that. And we just want to give that to you as a gift to say, welcome aboard. Glad you're back online. Let's get this thing going. These are the things that has been working for us to get us to this level.
But I just want to say something about that story too, and you could go to the next slide, Jerome. One of the piece that he left out is when our client went to the front desk and he was having the issue, and he said, well, I'm gonna call my my travel agent, and I'm gonna let my travel agent know, what's going on. He said that the manager at the front desk was like, no, okay, we gotta fix it. So what we're trying to let you know is that these businesses, these resorts, these cruise line, they know that travel advisors, right, is the reason why their business will succeed, right? So we are blessed to be part of Travelution.
Yeah.
Because of Travelution, right? There is sort of kind of like, there's power in the masses, right?
Exactly.
When it's just you, little John Doe, at the corner, whatever, doing your own thing, sometimes there's no weight because it's just you. But when they know that you are part of something that is bigger than you, then the attitude, the mannerism, the way in which they work or try to fix the situation is totally different. So you have to know your value. You have to know your worth, right? Your value towards the customer, right? Towards your client, the value towards, the business, what is the all-inclusive resort, or is the cruise, the cruise ship that your clients are on. There's a certain power, right? Or value that you carry.
Mm-hmm.
So he just mentioned, I'm gonna call my travel agent, right? And there was oh no, okay, hold up, wait a minute now. Because as a client, right, as one of their customers, if they give bad feedback to the travel agent or the travel advisor, immediately they know, we may not get no more business coming from that. And it's only take one bad experience for the word to go around saying, you know what, I sent my client to this resort and this happened, that happened. Nobody's gonna want to recommend them. So they was trying to fix it. But just know your worth, know your value, and do whatever it is legally and ethically that you need to do to service your client from beginning to end. Not because there was a way in Jamaica, not because the documents were sent to them with all of the instructions. It's going to be like, you know what? I sent you the instruction, you deal with it. Because if that was the attitude, if that was the attitude with which Jerome responded to them, I bet my bottom dollar it would have been the last dollar that we would have earned on commission from them, because it would have left a bad taste in their mouth. So when you go that extra mile, again, we're speaking about that experience. We're speaking about servicing your client with excellence. When you do that, as I said before, the dollars will come. You don't have to be chasing after it.
Mhm.
Do what you want to do, be passionate about it, be responsive, and treat them like you would like to be treated. And I'm telling you, the dollars is going to come. It had happened to us time and time and time and time again. We don't market. We don't put flyers all over the place. We don't put ads on Facebook or Instagram. We have not, since we began, we have not had to invest or spend money doing that. Everything that we have developed and built for this business successfully has been done through referrals, because we keep a certain standard with our clients, and they are our billboards. They are the one who have been marketing for us. We haven't market, they market for us. So you want to build a successful business, find your influencers, treat your influencers and everyone that they send your way with excellence. And your business, no matter whether it's cruising, is that you want to, if your niche is going to be cruising, then you do to the smithereens everything you have to do with excellence with cruising, whether it's all inclusive, whatever it is you decide to do, make sure you're doing it with the utmost of excellence.
So when we find the influencer, there's an appeal that we make to the influencers. Once we are working, discussing with them the possibility of working with the group that they were handling on their own in years at a time in some cases, we talk to them about, hey, we can contact and negotiate with the cruise line. You don't have to do that. We can take care of that for you. Now remember, by then we've endured a certain level of trust that they have with us, a certain level of integrity that they've experienced with us. We will let them know that we can finalize the contracts and ensure that terms are observed. They don't have to do that anymore. That's all the extra. Sometimes it's a secretary at the office, and this is extra work on top of it, or it's the cousin that's handling the family union that has a full-time job and 2 kids, and really, do I have time for this anymore? We will create the flyers and for you to approve and share with the group. Your job is sharing with the group, essentially. We'll do that work for you. We will create the online registration and booking forms. And our ideal free way of doing that is using Google Forms. And all they do is share it with them, because they are the ones that know their family. They're the one that knows their group, and so it's coming from them. We've done the work, and it's coming from them. We take the calls and respond to the calls in special situations. Hey, I know you said only 2 people can be in a room, but I need to bring my 5-year-old. Is there something? Instead of them handling that, our phone number is on the for any questions that you have. Diverted to contact us, and so that person is relieved of all of that duty. We will arrange for the payments and send a reminder notices of the payments payments, set up automatic payment terms, and make contact for missing payments or payments that are delayed. These are things that, especially people that are used to handling their family and their friends, especially, they don't want to really be dealing with that person's pocketbook because they're too close to it. Sometimes it can get sticky. The person is embarrassed because now it's my auntie asking me, and I don't want to tell them about, hey, we're having rough times. But if they're talking to a professional, that sets them aside from that, and they can deal with it on a professional level. And because we know how the contract really rolls, we can say, yes, we can give you an extra 2 weeks to do that. It's no problem with that at all. And they don't feel embarrassed. They get the relief that they need, and the influencer gets to be able to just say, I'll just select it, share it, and you do the work, and then what we do, and chill, and they get their reports. And so that appeal to the influencers has been huge for us. And any one of those, any combination of those things that we mentioned, and others that we've talked about, have been helpful for us to really, once we find that influencer, this is the language that we're using, the tone that we're giving them. Hey, we'll take the work away from you. You can keep up with everything. We'll send you the report. Some people like to have the detailed report. Some just want to know, just tell me how many rooms did we got so far. I don't want to be bothered with calling people for money. So much of this can be organized and handled through the tools that are provided to us through Travelution. So once you find the influencer and you've talked to them about the group and now they're interested in the group, let's talk a little bit about the basics of servicing the group. The basic is going to be automate, automate, automate. Remember, if you're dealing with a group that has 300 cabins, that's times 2, that's 600 people. Minimum, because sometimes there can be quads, triples, some are going to be singles. A useful tool like the Google form, you can have the flyer. Once you selected a place, you can have a flyer that's within the Google form. You can also have the registration form that's within the Google form. And then you can use your CRM for confirming the bookings, invoicing, sending reminders, setting reminders such as checking for your passports. These are things that can be automatically set up. And just so that I've used this term CRM in previous trainings. So just for the benefit of those that may not have heard some of the previous trainings, CRM is short for Customer Relation Management Software. Basically, that's a custom software that allows you to interact with your clients automatically. Once you put in their name and address, you can tell that software, hey, send an automatic email to everybody on that list to check for their passports a month before they travel to make sure that they look. And you'd be surprised how many people have not looked for their passport and have called the day of and say, I can't find my passport or my passport. The reason we tell them to check for their passport a month prior is because if they find that it actually expired, they actually have an opportunity to perhaps expedite it and get it done. And these days, we've had to include making sure that they check for the COVID restrictions and requirements, or sending what the current information is, typically from the tourism board of that country, Jamaica, Mexico, so on. Each country has a tourism board. So if you give them the link to that tourism board and give them some general information as of this date, that's what I always say, because it's always changing. You're required, for Jamaica, for instance, you're required to take a COVID test 3 days prior to arriving to Jamaica, and it has to be negative. 7 days prior, you need to make sure to have your travel authorization document completed. So it's things like that they because life gets in the way, you get busy, you're excited about the trip, but you're not thinking about the details. These emails are lifesavers and makes you look really great. You can use the CRM for auto reply when you market to market things like travel insurance, excursions, flights, pre and post hotels. And airports. So they're on a cruise out of Florida, but they live in New York. They got to get to Florida, And so I've used the CRM to automatically say, if you're planning on flying to Florida, contact us and let us know when you would like to travel, and we'll send you prices for your flights. If you we recommend that you come down a day before, so if the flight is delayed, you're not going to miss your ship, your cruise. And so now you're booking a hotel for them. That's more commission. Airport transfers, once they arrive in Florida, they need that transfers. Cruise lines have buses that's especially connected with them, so that you can actually book airport transfers from the airport to the cruise port through the cruise line on the cruise line's booking engine. These are all things that are available for you to do to serve your clients and make their lives a lot easier. And then you can use the CRM to issue an email that says, "Bon voyage, have a great time," a day before their trip. And then when they come back a day or two after, there will be an automatic email that says, "Welcome back." These are all touch points that we're talking about. I mentioned touch points to some degree, but there's a lot to really add, excuse me, when it comes to touch points. Touch points, when you are connecting with the clients about their needs, about making sure things run smooth for them. These are all things that excel your visibility as a professional, and that your business is out there to really take care of them. So we just wanted to give you a brief example of, before we leave this training, of what we were talking about when we were talking about these Google Forms. For instance, a couple of years ago, we actually created a group. And we didn't even talk about that yet.
2 years ago.
About 2 years ago, 2019. This is the first page to the left is the first page of the Google form. And the Google form, just for those that don't know, that's a free service as long as you have a Gmail account. It allows you to create digital forms where you can ask people questions and get the responses automatically sent back to your email. And so that you're able to collect that information from the individuals, what you need to book the cruise or talk about the cruise. So with Google, the first page was just introducing, hey, we got a Mother's Day cruise, go ahead and fill out the information. These are people that expressed interest in it, and we're sending them the form to get to know more about it. So the second page here is the flyer that we created. That's within the Google form. So the next page they see in there is the information about the cruise, just to reacquaint them. We even gave them a $25 onboard credit as an incentive to join the group if you book by a certain time. This is one of the other pages in the Google form where we give them the price list of the different types of cabins and the payment schedules that they have to make payments for. So you're giving them basically all the essential information they need to make a decision on whether they want to join this group. They heard about it. Hey, there's a Mother's Day group. What's that about? Can I hear more about it? Yeah, I'll send you an email. With Google Forms, you can not only send an email, but you can also send a link. So you can send create a link and send it in a text so that they can see it on their phones or other devices. In that Google form, while we won't play it here, that we were able to get a video of the ship.
Cruise ship. And it was new.
Yeah. So they get to click on this and get a preview of the ship itself. That generates excitement about the cruise, and that's what it's all about, the visuals. And of course, I love using this part of the slide that says you are invited. So in that Google form, after they've seen the information, checked out the ship and say, oh, I love the prices, let's do this. The Google form will then take them to the area where they're putting in their information and what we need in order to book them. So it's their name, address, gender, date of birth, where, address, all of those type of things.
Last but not least.
Last but not least, towards the end.
Get that payment for that cabin.
You can also collect the credit card information using the Google form. This is all secure. It all goes only to your email address, so you can collect the credit card payment through the Google form, and so you have everything you need to actually book that individual, Once you've booked them, you can use the CRM, as I discussed earlier, to send them their confirmation. Hey, you've been booked. Your payment has been received. These are your scheduled payments. These payments will be happening automatically. You don't have to call them about it. Now, the CRM, I have it set up where like a day or two before each payment, it reminds them that a payment will be coming. But we're not calling them to say, can we do it? At the bottom of this Google form, they've agreed to all the automatic payments. And so this is what's been helpful for us to work with larger groups without having to speak to 600 different people. We get the information, process it, send them the information, and for the most part, we don't have to speak to them again, except for when we're possibly arranging for things like flights,
transfers,
things of that nature. But that's going to be maybe a fraction of the people that are going to want that. Some of them are going to do it on their own, but that's what this is all about. So we want to thank you again for the opportunity to just talk to you about finding those influencers so that you can grow great groups and really develop your business and really shoot it through the roof as we've been able to do with our business. Thank you so much for listening to us this evening.
Thank you.